It was a long at 61.57. Dude, I thought it was a minute or 2 minute trade. It's like a 11-second trade. No, 16-second trade.
648.
648. Yep. 21.
It was a reclaim of pre-market high or what?
I wanted a reclaim of yesterday's high, but I felt like it was gonna rally already, so I got emotional. Yesterday's highs was 61.55.25. If you wanna. And pre-market was 57.75.
50 what?
57.75. I took it in between at 648.
With no demand or supply, you're crazy.
It's because you know how you have your pre-market plan, first option, second option. Yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows are always my second option.
Oh. Oh shit.
So yeah, somewhere over here, I think I see like a little push and CVD rising a little bit, but then it like just completely reverses. It was not enough. And just looking back right now, selling, like buying isn't sweeping it up real quick. It's still stalling there.
Yeah. These limit orders are sketch.
Yeah. But I was looking at these limit orders on the bottom too, because I was like long biased the whole day for some reason. So right here is where I start entering or start thinking about entering.
Damn, see, I do see why you would get confused there. Look
Yeah.
at this. That shit,
Yeah.
that's so annoying.
I know. It's the same shit. But yeah, that's what fucked me. And then it just drops.
See here, if I was gonna take this long, I would have wanted it to either hold here or aggressive on this aggression here. I would need it to get back above pre-market high to confirm my entry. And once it's above pre-market high, even if it's like a slight push, I would want it. I would want to see that hold here
Yeah.
rather than entering underneath it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just my FOMO got the best of me. But doesn't it look like it's gonna go?
Yeah. What they
And then
want
sellers
to.
get super aggressive.
Especially when there's no demand supporting the push. Um, I definitely need that climb above the pre-market high or whatever high it is.
Yeah.
Oof. My
It'll
heart
stop
would
me out.
break.
It has super aggressive.
It just chopped all day.
Yeah.
I didn't take no trades this day. Did you, Eloy?
Nope,
I
not again till Friday.
anyone trade on the 26th?
Nope.
No, that's all time highs for the first
That's
time.
it for me for this week.
I didn't trade the 26th either. I traded the 27th.
Both you traded on Friday?
Yeah, we were both going against each other.
Yeah.
I was trying to stop Eric out.
I mean,
He's trying to stop me out.
Oh yeah.
20. I'm gonna skip the 26th then.
Yep.
This was my trade. Oh, that Albion reclaim that I missed too. That was annoying. Alright, I had a 90-minute demand at 62.03. What is going on? Hey Gabriel, how were those mushrooms?
Pretty good, man. Feeling great.
What'd you do?
Just chilled.
It didn't make you
doing-
want to go outside?
Nah, I was really comfortable. I was trying to
I can't
study,
do-
but I was trying to study,
Oh,
but I
you
was
were
like,
trying to study on shit.
I was trying. It didn't work out.
Hilarious.
This is my thinking. I thought that I could like expand my mind and like see the market in a different direction or a different way, and like try to figure out things in a different way of thinking, a different way of mindset or some shit like that. But it didn't work out.
That's hilarious. So you just watch TV or some shit?
Oh, watch TV or I don't know, yeah, look at podcasts or something.
I can't do that. I get so antsy and I end up going for a walk.
I should do that next time.
Do
But I
you,
didn't get anxious. Felt good.
do you feel any like hallucinate traits, or are you just on a cool vibe?
I was like on a cool vibe because I'm not trying to trip or anything crazy.
Yeah, I always freak
Like
out about
crazy.
shrooms because the only 2 times I've ever done shrooms were for those reasons, and so that's when you guys are always like, "Let's just do it casually." I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm about to die."
Dude,
Yeah,
I want to
don't-
get fucking Airbnb in Joshua Tree and do it so bad.
Dude, let's do it. I'm so down.
That sounds so sick. A sick
We
one
could-
though.
We don't even have to fucking be rich. Let's just do it.
Hey, I forget. I was about to say I forget that like I have money to do shit.
I know. So do I.
Yeah, I don't, so don't think of me in that way.
It's
Hey, we
like how
got
you guys get the Airbnb.
we got you, Eloy.
You guys get the Airbnb, get the shrooms, my breakfast and lunch. Psych. And
All right, but
Edith is a must go, so that's 2 of us. Psych. Nah, if Edith goes, she pays for all of you guys.
oh my god.
Maybe one day y'all will get lucky enough to be spoiled by my wife, because when she goes out with people, she just ends up paying for shit.
Damn. Isn't she like a nurse too or something?
Not no more. She's a nurse snitch now.
What?
She just not. She's an auditor now, so she goes to like medical facilities and audits them now.
Oh shit.
It's like she's getting
Sounds
revenge on all the bullshit they did to her when she was a nurse.
like a hard ass job.
Nah, it's chill. That's why she loves it. Like it's cool for I don't know if your niece will ever deal with this, Eric, but like Edith like started hating being a nurse.
She's not at emergency hospitals like that.
Dude, I'm not even a
Um,
nurse. I've seen the most disgusting shit.
Oh,
So
that's
can't even
right.
imagine what they're seeing.
Dang, this is crazy. All this saline down here. 90-minute demand is 6203. It tapped it once and then got aggressively. Not even aggressively. It just got bought. But there's a lot of saline trying to push the market down here. Pre-market low is 6204. I didn't mark it. Gabriel, you called out the confirmations too for this one.
I know, dude, but it didn't hit my demand, and I actually missed that 90-minute demand you had or whatever.
See, this is when the LVN reclaims are more reliable, when it's close to demand like this. Like if it's just like far away and then the LVN forms, I would be more hesitant of taking it. Whereas this one, because it's so close to demand and VWAP aligned with it on TOS, like here's the LVN. Market pulls back into it. Just laying it down. On the 2-minute time frame here. CBD had already made a higher low here, and now it's starting to climb. Limit order appears at 6210. Would you say the entry already happened?
Uh, this is the hard part because like I'm not perfect at the entries. It's just fucking hard to gauge.
I know. I know, man. Because this confuses me. Like what?
I guess you can
If I
say the
was
three.
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I guess you can say the 3 bars are bigger than the saline volume,
Yeah, that's true.
but I don't like CVD.
Yo, CVD was a bitch yesterday because for it to be in the negative 12,000s and rally the way it did and never reach my target.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even realize it was in negative 12,000.
Oh yeah.
Does it pull back again or takes off from? Okay, if it comes back to 6209, then I would say that's probably true. Because it's right above that CBD still. Eloy, see how here it pops up and then it pulls back into the LVN? dips into it, gets bought up, and the LVN still stays there. That's what I'm talking about, where it fills it in, but it reclaims above it, and then it holds and just chills above. That's a good sign.
So you guys don't call it a reclaim until it gets back above, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm confused still. Like I don't know. I I wouldn't really want to enter here, but I feel like this is a good entry at the same time. I would prefer it to hold above 6209 LVN, this LVN area here, and then buyers step in aggressively.
Yeah, I do that same shit. I don't like to do it either, but sometimes you see stuff.
Yeah. I think that's also part of why I hesitated here, because I seen it dip in, but then I was like, oh, see here it takes off. But now if you get in here, I almost feel like we're late.
Yeah. But it shoots up like 20 extra points or something like that.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Yes, sir.
And then it just takes off everything. And so that's one thing to consider with LBNs, that one, if it's next to demand, it's more probable of it working out. And then when it pulls back into it, you could give it some room to let it fall into the LVM pocket, but you want to see it pop up aggressively and then kill above the LVM. But you got to be precise with that entry, or else you might be late. That's why I'm not too fond of LVNs, but they do work. And then I end up going all these past all-time highs at 6220, and I was watching for a pullback to 6226 or 6220. Did I enter that? 718 I got long. So the reason I was looking at 6226 was because of this little pocket. Kind of considered it an LVN, but I think it was too large to be an LVN, because market ended up coming back down to this previous all-time high, which is where I should have waited for. Um, so here I was looking for that entry, aggressive selling coming in, and I seen it stalling, and the only thing is CVD was still making lower lows here. And this is that same idea I've been saying, where I'm just anticipating the move rather than getting that clear confirmation. I most likely 71804. Yeah, most likely I seen this buying here, and I just allowed it to trick me and anticipated the longs, but clearly the selling isn't done. CBD isn't confirming anything, it's stalling, but It's not showing me strength. The all-time high hasn't been tested yet. Whereas later, when it does come down to 62.20, damn, I didn't see that. Look at this. See, this buying could even trick me, but the red flag is that it's not as aggressive as the selling that was happening here. You would want this kind of buying to be higher up.
Yeah.
And I think we get an example of it down here. Okay, here's more aggressive selling, and now the buying starts to come in with strength on this next retest, I think. Buying starting to get stronger on this push. Oh, damn, how the fuck do you catch that?
You don't. You can't catch those. Was that news?
7:35. No, it just
Like,
I
massive
know.
buyer.
Yeah. See, that's frustrating. Like, there's no
sig-
buying.
The signal was probably the little rise at the end of the consolidation, maybe
This.
like how it gradually rose up, or I don't know.
I mean, the two things that I agree with that, but before seeing that happen, I would say the fact that this aggressive selling hit these limit orders, it got bought up, and the limit order, this large red limit order stood there. It comes back
Yeah.
down, stays there again, and gets bought up, and then like it kind of like we're seeing all this aggressive selling.
And it
All
should
this
break
aggressive
through.
content. Yeah, exactly. It should break through, and then here it
Gets
keeps
held up.
bouncing off these limit orders, and this large aggressive limit order does not disappear at all. Like it doesn't even
Yeah.
get phased by this selling.
Where it's at.
Yeah.
So
most
then
definitely.
that's a sign like, okay, it's being supported, and you just have to be able to read this. It's like stalling, and buyers starting to slowly step in.
But look at volume. How the fuck you? How do you?
Yeah, I agree.
And CVD looks dead the whole time.
Also, another thing to consider is the move technically happened, like, so like you're kind of the move's kind of overextended if you're trying to long this.
Yeah.
You got short over here, huh, Eli?
Yeah. There's another thing
All
that I
good
just
job.
remembered that made me realize why my short wouldn't have been a good idea was
He's gone. He's like, it's 10. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
oh no, my bad. I was muted. I was talking right now. I didn't realize I was muted. I was coughing a second ago, choking up. But another thing that made me realize that this wasn't a good move. Not a good move, but like that the direction wasn't going down is it broke the resistance with that little supply zone. And then I think it was Carmine or whatever video I studied that said if it broke by like a couple of points, like maybe 10 points, I don't know if that's too much, but like if it broke, then it's kind of like it's not confirming that it's gonna. How do I explain this? So it spiked above the supply zone that you see on your chart, and then we usually think, all right, well, it's not continuing. It's not there's no continuation. It should probably come back down. but it broke by like 10 points. So there's no reason not to think it's going to continue at some point. Like if it would have broke and then came back by a couple of points, then it would have reversed. But the fact that it broke by so many points, then it's kind of like it's still going to go up probably. Did that make sense?
You're saying for a short?
Yeah, like I was trying to think, all right, it broke the supply, but it's going to come back. It just broke it by a little bit. But no, it
Oh,
didn't.
and keep breaking
It broke it by
down.
10 points. So I think it was Carmine who said a 10-point break is probably not going to come back and reverse the way you think it will. Like maybe if it broke by a couple of points and then you can anticipate the reversal. But this broke by like,
Yeah, that's also why I was long
yeah, I
biased
didn't
on
think of
this
that.
pullback here because it did that. Look at how aggressive it breaks out of supply. So then when that happened, I was like, okay, let me wait for a pullback into this area here. Obviously, I got in a bit too early. Um, but yeah, I would agree with what you said there, where if it breaks aggressively that many points, to expect it to come back down and break through the supply again is unlikely. So what made this a key level for me was it was a previous supply zone and it was also aligned with pre-market high, all-time high. So it's like three different reasons why this could become support, which did end up working twice.
Because remember, those are also confirmations.
What those levels?
Yeah, having levels all scrunched up together, especially if they're
Oh yeah,
stronger ones.
yeah, for sure. Um,
But for me,
and then even here, when it came down and you were looking to exit at 19, I was looking to enter long again, but I just wasn't getting the clear confirmation that I wanted to. And because I had entered on not a clear confirmation earlier, I was like, I'm not gonna make that same mistake. So I just avoided it in general.
but look at CVD, bro. That's annoying as fuck.
Hell yeah,
Oh yeah, damn, that
that's
is.
crazy.
But honestly, this is also a sign of clearly sellers are being absorbed. Look at 10,000 lots selling and the market not falling any lower. Plus,
Yeah,
we got those key levels there, the pre-market high, all-time high, and it was
limit
previous supplies.
orders.
Yeah. So oh yeah, the limit orders too. Those same ones that were stopping it from falling previously. Damn, I should have considered
Yeah,
that
and those
too.
limit orders right
Yeah,
there are right above the consolidate, not consolidate, the supply box. So it's kind of like it
Say that
became new
again?
support. Those limit orders are sitting right at the top of the supply box of that 90-minute,
oh
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's kind of like that's the new
Yeah,
like so the
that's
10-point break should have been a confirmation that it's like, oh, this is probably going to keep rising, and then the fact that it kept that all those limit orders uh posted where they were, and it's the all-time high as well.
that's why you got to get the overall trend to gauge where the market's gonna go.
Mhm.
That's
yeah.
where that helps you.
But definitely this limit order not being phased by all the selling -10 CVD, like that is key that this is a strong level.
Yeah,
So yeah,
should
we
just
didn't have I was gonna say that yeah, we didn't have clear buying value, but
it was
the way
clear. I
the
mean, you had other confirmations.
yeah, exactly. And that's what sucks is that like you're not always gonna have that everything aligned the way you usually expect it to. So you kind of have to like I hate to like say give yourself some wiggle room, but the confirmations are here.
As I would say, do it as long as it's at your key level,
Yeah, for sure.
because you have a plan before it even gets there. So taking it and taking an L is better than taking a loss at a random spot.
True. Very true.
And you executed
Yeah.
on your plan. So you technically did what you were supposed to do. So I would say if it's at your key level, yeah, I agree. Give yourself some wiggle room.
Yeah. Well, that was the end of it because I didn't. Got stopped out and no more trades for me after that.
You didn't stay on for 25 more minutes like I did to just see this shit happen.
Yeah.
This
I
shit
wonder how big,
rallied.
are your files big?
Huh?
Are your files big? Do you know?
I mean, I think those last two that I saved, it was, and that doesn't happen all the time, but like these last ones, yeah.
Uh, uh,
I think it was yesterday morning I woke up and I was like, oh shit, Bookmap is still open. And it had
That's
one
all I
like
got.
one long flat line of like all the data that it didn't gather while it was like on sleep. And then when I turned it on, like the bubble started going again.
Uh,
Damn.
what are you
what
guys
y'all
gonna?
gonna work on?
My entries, dude. I need to work on those entries. Trying to see the aggressiveness, if it's legit or not, for the value bars.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually gonna spend some time this weekend rewatching my last 10 trades just to see, not necessarily like rewatching the last 10 days that I traded to see where, like, go on the 2-minute time frame and really see where that volume is showing me confirmation of a bounce or a rejection.
Yeah,
Because that 2-minute time frame on Bookmap, I'm still getting a little confused, so I really want to zero in on that confirmation.
yeah, for sure.
Isn't there times though where you'll see like a crazy move, but none of your confirmations were there? You just have to eat that, or
Yeah, the one we just. Oh,
right, right.
Yeah. And honestly, there is gonna be times where like the move takes off and it's a crazy move and it just wasn't your, it's not your setup. Like it's just not a move. Yeah, it worked and it did what you might have thought, but the confirmations weren't there and you kind of have to accept that your setup, it wasn't your setup.
Mhm.
look at how
Which
confusing this is. Rally based rally, strong selling in the middle of it the whole time, and limit orders still ate it up. And
yeah.
CVD's going, and CVD's making lower lows. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep. We're also at all-time highs, so again, shorting all-time highs is very dangerous because of this exact reason.
Yeah,
It made me interested in studying all-time highs. Like, how is that gone? It's interesting.
This is the time because we're there.
No, yeah, like I want to go
yeah.
back to another one, like maybe whatever, like the last one before April, and be like, what was going on during that
Oh
time?
yeah, yeah. You'll see that and back at that time, actually, you'll see that the candles, if you look at the daily, they weren't very aggressive. They were small candles, which was showing a sign of actually shorts were getting ready to load up. And that was something that what's his name? Aristotle had been pointing out. Look at how on the daily the candles started to get smaller and smaller as we got close to all-time highs.
Oh
Look
yeah.
at this candle, look at this candle, look at this candle, and then after that, the selling just compared to look at these candles. These are aggressive ass buying candles.
Wait, this is the new all-time high, and that was previous all-time high.
Exactly. So this is telling us like, okay, the buying wants to continue, whereas over here, the previous one, the buying isn't aggressive like it is right now. It's like almost showing you like it wants to start fading.
Yeah,
So that's why looking at the daily like on Sundays is also helpful just to see like how are these candles forming? Are they forming with aggression or are they forming with weakness? That also could help getting a guidance for what the market wants to do.
dude, that area around previous all-time highs is gonna be key.
Right here.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's why I have it marked as the dark green and line because
oh
I'm like,
yeah,
okay, this area is gonna be important moving forward.
yep. I got that too.
So something to consider. What are you working on, Eli?
I'm still. I've been adding more bookmap reviews lately to my routine, which has been cool because I feel like I see shit. Like I feel like I'm seeing everything we're talking about, and I'll chart up. Like I'll put the supply and demand boxes, and like I can see what they're doing while they're in those zones. At least I'm seeing important moments of what it's doing. Like there might be other times where I see what price is doing at a supply or demand box, but it's not really giving me anything that are like our confirmations.
Yeah.
But it's
One thing I wanted to point out about your screenshot. Hold up, I seen when you had the other day. Is it? Okay, like right here. Try to point out the volume when you're entering. See how here you point out the volume after you entered?
yeah.
Rather than like stuff that you ingrain it in your head, point it out like right here where you entered. Look at what volume was doing. Even looking at this screenshot, we're looking at short and look at the volume, how it was showing buyers.
Yeah.
Ooh, I never noticed
When
that.
we reviewed that, like
Do it.
that's Monday, right?
I don't know what
I
it
think
is.
when we were reviewing it, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was noticing all of the confirmations upon entry were not there. Like all of that's why I said all of my confirmations are like after the entry, and it's just me trying to make it seem like, well, I see that and I see that, but it's like that's why I asked you guys, isn't it when you take your screenshot, all the data was after your entry, like all the data from when you took your screenshot?
Oh no, it's right at your entry, possibly before your entry.
No, no, no. That's what I'm saying though. Every on this screenshot, everything that I highlighted to be my confirmations aren't legit because it's like okay, all of that, like the little volume box that I circled, like that's after the entry. So how am I trying to say selling is stepping up if the selling didn't
Oh yeah,
step
yeah,
in
yeah.
until after my entry? So that's why I'm saying like when I take the screenshots, a lot of the data is already like if it was an LVN node, all of that data might be wiped away because you took the screenshot like 20 minutes after your trade.
Yeah, so what I'll do instead of getting this whole I mean, obviously I get the whole from where I entered to where I exited, but what I'll do is like try to zoom in on this entry area and compare where I entered, where the volume is, and what CBD was doing at that exact moment that I entered, and then that tells me what my real confirmations were for entering.
Yeah, it has to line up
Yeah, I
So
would.
because
try to do that.
you're getting in based off that confirmation.
Yeah.
I think that'll really ingrain in your head what you're looking for when you enter.
Yeah.
And to add your chart next to it if you can.
For the
Just so
screenshot,
that
right?
like what?
Do you guys add the chart next to it for like the entire screenshot that you post on Discord? Or is that what you've been doing?
Gabriel does like individual screens, but I'll just combine my screens like this.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do that.
Either way, I think works. But I think it just helps you when you come back to review your trade. Like instead of having to navigate through all these different, like you just have everything in front of you. You could clearly see what you were looking at.
I'm gonna
I
start doing
think
that.
that part of reviewing is super important and like ingraining it in your mind what you need to look for. Yeah, homie over here.
Dude, on one of the videos, I went to the main chat to look at one of my screenshots, and I stopped right where it said that. I was like,
But yeah, I think working on that as far as the reviewing aspect will definitely elevate your game a little more.
For sure.
I agree.
And then how Gabriel said the pre-market plans. Try writing out a pre-market plan before the market opens.
Yes, exactly.
I agree.
Because I do remember telling Gabriel like consistent, like write a pre-market plan, write a pre-market
Yeah.
plan.
Dude, I'm telling you,
And fi-
I was trying to avoid doing as much work as possible. I promise you. Eric was telling me what I'm telling you.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we
You
always
gotta want it a little more, Eloy.
I need you to
Yep.
give us some more
Unfortunately.
shortcuts, Eric.
What?
I'm gonna let you go on another year by yourself, bro, and then come back to me. I need more shortcuts, bro. It's like, but tight,
For
dude.
sure. That's all I got.
All right. Sounds good.
Peace out, y'all.